Hey guys, in today's video, we'll review the Creative Stage V2 Soundbar. This is an entry-level soundbar which promises very good sound quality, great connectivity and compact dimensions for a price of around $100 or 8,000 Indian rupees. So let's see whether this soundbar delivers on those promises or not. And without any further ado, let's get started with the review. Starting with the box content, you get the soundbar and subwoofer as well as a remote. You also get these cables and some documentation. The only thing missing is some batteries for the remote to get started. Starting with the soundbar, it's relatively compact in size and fits perfectly under a 32-inch monitor or TV. It's built quite well with a piano black finish on top and a metal grille on the front. The Creative logo is placed on the side of the grille, and in the center, you get a 2-digit display under the grille. On the right side, you get buttons to control the soundbar. While the Bluetooth and volume buttons do the obvious, the power button can also be used to switch between different inputs. On the back, you get all the connectivity options including HDMI ARC, Optical port, USB Type-C port, aux port, subwoofer connection port, as well as the power port. You also get wall mounting holes here. On the bottom, you get rubber feet to ensure that the soundbar doesn't rattle and move around due to the sound vibrations. Coming to the subwoofer, it's designed to be skinny and not take much room under your desk. It has a single, non-removable cable which connects to the soundbar. This subwoofer feels quite well built with this MDF enclosure. The bass reflex port is on the front and the driver is on the right side covered by a mesh fabric. Even the subwoofer has anti-skid rubber feet to minimize movement due to sound vibrations. The remote is made of plastic but has a brushed metallic finish which looks good. Other than the standard input and volume controls, it also has controls for bass and treble as well as two distinct sound profiles. One is surround and the other one is dialogue. Now, let's talk about all the technology packed inside this soundbar. On the front, you get two drivers of 2.25 inches. Each driver has 20 watts of power output. On the subwoofer, you get a 5.25-inch driver with a power output of 40 watts. So the combined power output of this 2.1 channel sound system is 80 watts RMS. The peak power output is 160 watts. Its frequency response ranges from 55 Hz all the way to 20 kHz. So while the subwoofer can deliver mid-bass and upper bass, it lacks in terms of sub-bass. This soundbar doesn't support any of the advanced audio formats like DTS-X, Dolby Digital Plus as well as Dolby Atmos, but that is expected given its price range. However, it does have two different sound modes that change the sound signature quite a bit. With the surround sound mode, you get to notice the biggest difference. It completely opens up the sound stage. It obviously doesn't transform the soundbar into a Dolby Atmos surround sound system where the sound is coming from everywhere, but instead of it just coming from one small soundbar, it feels like the sound is coming from a much larger source. The effect is actually quite convincing. Here is a little sample of the surround mode, even though I know that you won't be able to hear the actual difference it makes. On the other hand, the dialogue sound mode boosts the higher frequencies in the vocals to improve the voice clarity. Both these modes have their pros and cons, but in the right situation, they are quite useful. Sound quality is a very subjective thing. Some people prefer more bass-heavy sound, some people prefer more sparkle in their sound, while some prefer a neutral sound signature. So catering to everyone's taste is pretty much impossible, at least for these entry-level systems. But somehow, Creative has found a happy middle ground with the sound signature of this soundbar. Unlike most soundbars in its price range which have a lot of boomy bass and muddy vocals, this soundbar focuses on sound clarity. It has a good amount of bass, especially if you crank up the bass to +5. You can definitely feel the bass thump, especially if you sit close to the subwoofer, but it doesn't have the kind of bass that rattles the entire room. Coming to the vocals in music and dialogue clarity, this is where the soundbar impresses quite a bit. With bass and treble controls as well as a dedicated dialogue mode, you can fine-tune the vocals to your liking. Coming to treble, it is decent but nothing special. So the overall sound signature is pretty good and it actually exceeded my expectations. For my taste, I kept the bass to +5 and the treble to +1. For best sound quality, use HDMI ARC, Optical or USB audio. Audio via the aux port is also good. However, with Bluetooth, it only supports SBC codec, which compresses the audio. So while playing complex music tracks or action-packed movies, the sound clarity isn't as good as the wired connection. In terms of sound volume, this soundbar is mainly suited for rooms under 200 square feet size. In a 150 square feet room, you can get a room-filling sound with the volume set to 25. The max volume for this soundbar is 35 and there is hardly any distortion even at max volume, which is a good thing. Okay, so instead of making a blanket statement that this is the best soundbar under $100 for everyone, I would rather list the use cases where this soundbar fits perfectly. So for computer users who want a good sounding basic soundbar, this is definitely an easy recommendation. For those looking for an upgrade to their TV sound, this is again a solid recommendation. For those who own a 32-inch TV, this is again a great choice as most soundbars are much wider and look weird under a small TV. Also, for those looking for an entry-level soundbar which has a more balanced sound with good vocal clarity instead of boomy bass and muddy vocals, this is again a good choice. Alright, that's it from my side. Now you'll get to listen to a few audio samples from different genres of music played on this soundbar. I hope it helps you understand the sound quality of this soundbar in a better way. Thanks for watching.